Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
Wow, 3 more days and we're in February. Man,
isn't it crazy that January is like almost gone?
Yeah, I'm just getting over the flu, so put all that together. I should have a good February. So, good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Ed McQueen. Of course, Miss April Garner Davis is going to be taking the helm this evening because of the guests. Look, we're always talking about our youth, right, April?
Yes. Yeah. We're always talking about our youth.
Yeah, yes. Also talking about our youth, and we look at that as the future. And tonight we're going to bring some of that to you, along with before we get to that. Well, before we get to that, we're willing to get an update from our Whittemore Race Path Historical Society on their projected events and the things that they've done since the last time we've talked. And we just want to keep everybody up to date on that because it's very critical. It's a very important entity that's been doing some wonderful things, and they've been getting good resources in order to facilitate and reach their goal of keeping that legacy alive and other things, which you can have her to talk about, and that is Dr. Cheryl Adamson. But I'll turn it over to Ms. Davis here so that she could fill you in on anything else that's beyond that.
Well, yeah, thank you very much. Also, our scheduled guest for tonight is none other than CeJay Bromell of Next Level Basketball Training, and he is the founder and has a very compelling story about how this all came to be. And so we're going to hear from this young man, and we'll find out more about his initiative, how he's helping youth on and off the basketball court. So we have 2 very, very special guests with us tonight, but we're going to start with none other than Reverend Cheryl Adamson. How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful. I was about to be snug as a bug in my rug. But our dear brother,
I've heard that cliche in a long time.
You need to come on here and talk to the people just a few minutes. So I really appreciate you all giving me just a few minutes to bring you up to date on some important issues for our community. The first thing that I want to bring to your attention is that 2 weeks ago today, Sister Valerie Skipper and I and some others were meeting to plan for our April Whittemore Racepath Historical Society Hall of Fame Gala. And I happened to drive past the site of the Whittemore Elementary School. And there I saw a sign that said, "History in the Making." It was a 4-foot by 8-foot sign that said, "History in the Making, future site of the Whittemore Park Sports Complex." And I was perplexed. In fact, I was incredulous because I had not heard anything about that. Came back by in the dark because I had to get to the meeting, shined my light on the car, took a picture of it, went home and posted it and said, "This is precisely what we told them we did not want on this site." Because our thing is, even though your guest tonight is all about sports and basketball, and we know how important athletics are to our kids, there are some of our children who have not one athletic bone in their body. And even the children who are athletes still need cultural, educational, and civic kinds of activities. And that is what we want to be at the Whittemore Elementary School site. So I got on the phone and texted every one of the city council members and asked them, "What meaneth this?" And the response from 3 of them were essentially, "We don't know anything about that." So last Tuesday, after Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we went to city council meeting, and Sister Tanya Robinson spoke on behalf of the community and said to them essentially just what I said. That was not what we want in our community. We want something more than just another sports complex. And Sister Amanda Butler spoke on behalf of Beth, and then the other council persons who were there agreed with her that there needs to be more transparency in the city of Conway. So the long and the short of it is this: the city council persons and the mayor do not know how that sign got there, even though it has the city of Conway logo. It has a schematic of what the property is supposed to look like, how it's going to be laid out, and all of that. And 3 days after I posted that picture, another sign was put in its place with no writing on it. In other words, they took down the insulting "History in the Making, future site of the Whittemore Park Sports Complex," and just left the picture of the grounds. So I don't know what that means, but it does mean either that the tail is wagging the dog or somebody is not being honest about what the plans are for that property. One of the points that Sister Tanya made was, of course, all of the things that we've outlined in every one of our encounters with the city, but also a sports complex is a destination, which is to say that people will be coming from outside of our community and they will be flooding the zone, so to speak, with a lot of vehicles and outside traffic that can be disruptive to our community. But the major thing is it does not speak to the significance of that site. Bottom line is the city of Conway can get more land or property to put up a sports complex, but there is only one historic Whittemore Elementary School site. And I don't care if there's not a blade of grass on it, the ground is sacred. And so we need people to think about this and to become re-engaged about it. I just don't see laying down for people. I don't care how long it takes. We've been in this process since 2017 with the first community meeting, then another that I saw on the City of Conway comprehensive plan for 2035. No mention of a sports complex, but there is the mention of a future Whittemore Park Community Center, which is what our community deserves and our children require. So again, Sister Carolyn Hickman has put in a FOIA, which is Freedom of Information Act, to say, when did you vote? Who proposed this? Who authorized this architectural rendering or this landscaping or this sign? Who had the authority to put that sign up without the knowledge of the mayor and city council persons? So that is the concern on the Whittemore Elementary School site. And I hope that you will be, as I was, incredulous enough to say, oh my goodness, who gets to come into our community and decide what goes there? So that's all on that, unless you have some questions for me about that. The next thing is, of course, that the Whittemore Race Path Historical Society is partnering with various organizations in our community to bring people education. We can say all we want about being Black, but if you don't study who you are, you're going to not know who you are. So on Saturday, February 7th, at the Horry County Museum at 9th Avenue and Main Street, we'll be hosting none other than Mr. Joseph McGill, who is the person who has gone all over the country identifying slave dwellings, to talk to us about this project. We really would hope that we're not outnumbered at this event as we were when we brought it before. So we're hoping that some churches and other civic organizations will come, and that most especially you would bring your children. So that is going to be Saturday, February 7th at 1:00 p.m. And it's free of charge, and it's about an hour or so long. There will be refreshments. So we want to invite you to come with us. We are partnering with Horry County Museum, the South Carolina Council of the Humanities, and the Whittemore Race Path Historical Society.
And where's this location again, Cheryl?
It is at the Horry County Museum on the corner of 9th Avenue and Main Street in downtown Conway, right next to the Conway Library.
Okay.
At that same location on February 28th will be the Gullah Geechee Conference, their community day. And we want to have a conversation with our community about a photographic project. And we want to do a book about historical sites in Horry County. So please come prepared to talk with us about what you would like to see in that book. We don't know the times yet, but we will get that information out. So again, thank you for this time. The most critical thing is that we stay engaged with our city regarding the Whittemore Elementary School site.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for that update.
Okay.
And very critical information. Okay, a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. And we asked our viewers if they could really pay close attention to the work that the Whittemore Race Path Historical Society is doing. It's not just a legacy. It's something that we need. When we can't be at the table, then we need entities like yours to fill in for us, right, as a community. Thank you so much.
You know what the latest thing is? If you don't have a seat at the table, that means you're on the menu.
I heard that somewhere.
Because it is true. But we really want people to stay engaged. You know, we can't get tired. That's just all there is to it. We can't get tired because they're not going to give up, and we don't have give up in us either. You think about all of the things that have come against us that should have utterly destroyed us. We should be not present, but we're still here, and there's a reason for that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Reverend Ashley, can you mention again the event that is happening on the 28th, I believe you said?
On the 28th is, the conference that is sponsored by Coastal Carolina University. the Gullah Geechee. Give me 1 second and I can pull up a flyer. The Gullah Geechee Community Day, save the date. The Joanna Institute for Gullah and African Diaspora Studies is excited to share 2 upcoming events taking place in February. So the one is a presentation on Friday of foodways in the African American community. And then on the following day is the 6th annual Gullah Geechee Community Day celebration. And it usually is all over Conway, some downtown, some in churches like at the Hut Bible class, some at the visitor center. But there's a lot of space at the Horry County Museum.
Okay.
And the Whittemore Race Path Historical Society will be there to facilitate a conversation with our community about the first book project that we'd like to do in conjunction with everyone in our community. And we want to hear from the community what they would like to see in that project.
Okay. It sounds like you have a flyer. I have not seen anything across social media just yet. If you can send that to us, we'll be sure to post it. And I have attended one of the community days, and it was a lot of fun in downtown Conway. So yes, this is awesome. Thank you for letting us know that that's happening in the community in February, and also the Slave Dwelling Project on the 7th. Really do appreciate it. All right, and yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
You have anything before she goes? Anything else you want to?
No, I'm just thankful that we were be able to receive your update. It's important. It's very important.
Well, we're willing to come on. So anytime you need me, just let me know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, Brother Edward. So great to have Reverend Adamson on to share the community updates, and I'm sure that we're going to find out more about what's going to happen on the side of the old Whittemore Elementary School in the coming weeks. So I'm sure we'll have her back real soon. But in the meantime, it's now time for our conversation with none other than CeJay Bromell. And let's go ahead and add him to the stage. How are you, CeJay?
I'm doing pretty good. I like when the camera came out, like I was posing.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he had the pose ready with the B-ball and everything.
Coincident. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah, that's really good. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. We do consider it a pleasure to have you here. And, CeJay caught my eye as he uses the network for promotion of his training camp and all the things that he's doing with the youth. And he and I kind of exchanged some conversation about a project that we're working on, and we'll talk more about that in the future. But for the most part, Brother Edward, I want you to know that CeJay was well aware of WCM Live, and I invited him to be on this show. And he says, I was waiting for the invitation. And so
I was waiting. I was praying on it and everything. I was waiting for it.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad to know that, man. I'm glad to know you thought well of us like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so it's great to have you here, CeJay. And of course, we're going to talk basketball. But before we get into basketball, let's talk CeJay Bromell. And, I remember you, of course, because you attended Friendship along with me, your mom, and all of that good stuff. And, remember you growing up, remember your love for basketball and sports. And also, I remember that you have a very life-changing story, an event that happened to you that I'm sure was the catalyst for what you're doing now. So, before we get into the basketball camp and next level and good ball movement and all that good stuff, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself and what inspired you to create next level training, basketball training?
Going back from when I was born, I don't know, God just knew that I was going to do something special with a basketball. That's something my father has always preached about. I'm a preacher's kid and everything like that. Shout out to CeJay Bromell and his wife, Antoinette. And shout out to my mom for always giving me the opportunity to put a ball in my hand, as you can see that I have right here. It's always been my best friend ever since. I never took it for granted, but just growing up as a kid, you know, I used to get bullied a lot. I used to get picked on just for always having a ball in my hand. I just loved it so much. I just found some type of comfort within that. It just always kept me sane. It kept me at peace from everything that was going on in the world. I always had a good work ethic. I always was at the courts, or I was always at the gym somewhere, just playing pickup basketball or just one-on-one with myself, just playing, shooting around, just trying to, you know, make it out of Conway to do something for myself. Cause that's pretty much really all I knew. My friends could tell you. If basketball wasn't on when I was a kid, I would get upset. Either that or if cartoons wasn't on, you know, just being a regular kid. But overall, I just took a more liking to basketball. But when I was 17, I went into cardiac arrest playing basketball at the County Rec Center. Some firemen who were off duty at the time, Jared Wallace and Kenneth Anderson, they were at the rec center. We were just playing pickup with a lot of high intensity basketball. People in the community, college kids, professional athletes, some way. The next day, you know, I just started feeling lightheaded at the end of the very last game after I hit the game-winning layup, you know, because we've been playing all day. Next thing you know, I was walking over to the bench to go grab my stuff when they announced like the gym was about to close. And I started feeling lightheaded and very clammy and weak. And I felt very cold. The next thing you know, I started blinking really fast, and I don't know, I just kind of just gave out. My body just automatically just almost like I was like falling asleep basically, and I couldn't fight it. So next thing you know, they said I died. They said basically my heart stopped because they couldn't pulse. They done CPR on me. They went in the hallway and got the defibrillator to shock me back to life. They said I did come to. I was revived like after I think the second or third shock, because they thought that I wasn't gonna come back. So it was very scary for everybody that was in that gym. Everybody just kind of just stopped what they was doing to making sure I was okay, because I was very well known in the community for playing basketball. So next thing you know, I just came to. Then I was up trying to figure out like what was going on. The next thing you know, I just felt lightheaded again. And I went right back to dancing. And it's almost like I could feel my spirit was like going through like a tug of war. And I was trying to fight it so much. And then I didn't know how to control it because I'd never experienced anything traumatic like that ever in my life. So next thing you know, I just let go. I just let go and let be. So if it was meant for me to pass on, it was meant for me to pass on. But by the grace of God, you know, everybody was able to handle the situation the way they did in order for me to still be here to this day. And the next thing you know, I woke up in the Charleston at MUSC. So they airlifted me to go to the County Medical Center. They ain't had no cardiologist at the time to work on my heart and to figure out what was going on. So they said, okay, the only heart place that we could send this young man to is the one in Charleston. So they sent me in a helicopter and shipped me off to Charleston. And I was there for about a couple months or so. Feel like I was in there forever. The next thing you know, I just woke up from my sleep and then I was screaming because I've been in a mental trance for a very long time. So I was very blessed to actually give a second chance at life. So with me coming out the hospital, I tried to play ball again, being hard-headed and young, try to play ball again. Then my defibrillator went off, so I got shocked a couple of times. Went to the hospital, got back on the court again as soon as I got out. Did it again, same story. Did it again, same story, multiple years, multiple times. So a couple of years ago, I came to my senses, learned the hard way. So it's been 11 years now because it's happened in 2015. So a couple of years went by. Next thing I learned my lesson when I woke up from a dream. And the dream mostly consisted of me like actually just coaching kids. And whenever I wake up from that dream, I felt warm. I felt good. I felt like as if I accomplished something, even though something didn't happen yet. I guess more so foreshadowing of what my future was going to look like. Then next thing you know, I just started kind of taking them more like it in the coaching. I never didn't like it. It was just the fact that I had to get used to it. I also used to playing all the time. So me just actually teaching the youth of all ages, you know, how to actually dribble the basketball properly, hand coordination, working on footwork and just the little mechanics of the game and the knowledge of the game that I know of and know how to play. It just, it just worked. And then next thing I feel so fulfilled to actually see them doing the right things or even trying. For those who took a little while to get it, some learn quicker than others. And I'm very patient for one, because I was a kid where I wasn't always the best player on my team, but I always had a great work ethic, and I always worked really hard to get to where I want to be. It only takes hard work and practice. And I tell the kids too that a flower doesn't grow in a day. It takes time. It takes love, it takes nurture, it takes sunlight, it takes love, it takes patience. So that's what the game of basketball taught me overall. Sorry, I get a little emotional when I talk about it. And the good ball movement started in a dream as well. The ball basically, like, just imagine this little ball, it's just rolling around on its own. Nobody's pulling no strings, no edits, no nothing. Next thing you know, it's like it's talking to you. It's basically telling you, like, you can do it. You can do anything if you just pass the ball every once in a while. Spread positive words to other people, because you never know who's going to need to hear it, who's going to need to see it. So I was like, okay, then how can I get this to the world? The next thing you know, this little basketball, obviously, I think it was another basketball in my dream that told me this. It basically told me, start off on a social media platform. Start from there, and then it's going to grow. The next thing you know, like, the ball started rolling on its own, then it started bouncing on its own, then it started talking on its own. So whenever I have these little dreams, I end up posting them. And then it might be a familiar voice or a familiar quote that I heard before by either myself or by somebody. But I feel like with all that being said, that right there can't be nobody but God right there. So that right there is kind of inspiration to make an impact with other people than playing a game of basketball, but just, passing the ball to others so they could score, not just on the court, but in life. So Next Level came about, like I said, again, with me just coaching. So just the next level, I always took my games to the next level. I always idolized my superhero at the time, Derrick Rose. Shout out to him as well. He just retired jersey in Chicago.
Yeah, jersey. Yeah.
He's always my favorite players growing up. Everybody who knows me and played with me or against me, they know I'm a huge Derrick Rose fan. That's my guy. Even to this day, I still look up to him for the type of guy that he was. Yeah, he went through some injuries that could have been career ending, but he never gave up. And that's kind of how, I took that as well, because that's what I looked up to at the time. Then once he retired, it was like, it really, really gave me a sense of, like, I don't have to play to prove anybody anymore. I could just stick to just living my life. The next thing you know, I got blessed. I got engaged. I met the love of my life. I got a beautiful family, and guys opened my eyes to see a lot of different things. I met a lot of great coaches. I met a lot of great friends, new friends, I would say. And I met a lot of great athletes along the way too, as well. People I just never thought I'd ever think of meeting in my life. So that right there has kind of opened up a lot for me. So next thing you know, I just became more in love with the game than being obsessed with the game. I always talked about this. There's a difference between loving something, letting it go, and it's going to come back to you, than being obsessed with something. So being obsessed over something is actually not always a good thing, because I lost sight of, just being a child sometimes, going out, playing in the woods or riding bikes with my friends as much. All I do is just stick with this, but you also got to just maintain, just kind of balance your life out a little differently. So I feel like I found ways, in my opinion, to do that, and I try to push that knowledge that I know of and have for the next generation, and it seems to actually work. They're doing a lot better in school, they're doing a lot better at home, and they're doing a lot better on and off the basketball court. So I mean, what more can I ask for? That just feels more fulfillment to my purpose. I just made a post earlier, and I'm gonna finish with this. I just made a post earlier that I feel like I found my fulfillment in life. I just made a post on Facebook about that on my personal page. My father liked it. He gave me like a little clap emoji, and I know he always because we don't see each other every single day. He lives in Florence with his wife and everything like that, and he does ministry in Sumter. And shout out to Trinity Baptist Church over there in Sumter. Basically, like, I feel like I got that support that I always needed, because I ain't really have him too much around as a kid. So as I gotten older, I made peace with him, and I made more peace with God. And I feel like my faith and my relationship with him has gotten a lot more stronger. And push more for the kids. Like, you only get one set of parents. Yeah, they're not perfect like you would want them to be, but that goes to anybody in life, you know. So that's just like a really deep thing that I tend to preach on to the kids. Even my players at the College Rec Center who I train, I coach, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, CeJay, first of all, your story is it serves as a testament in more ways than one. Obviously, your faith was tested. Obviously, through your health trials and the things that you had to deal with, you never gave up. You persevered, even if you felt like you were being hard-headed at times. But one thing's for sure, God spared your life for a very concrete reason. And your ministry is basketball. It is the way that you will, extend your outreach in terms of mentoring and how you inspire kids to, look past those things that may make them feel defeated in life.
Yeah.
You talked about the instances when you were bullied as a kid, mainly because people just didn't understand you. Like you said, that was basketball was your thing. And I think as long as we're living, there will always be bullies in some respect, big bullies, little bullies, or whatever. But I love what you said about the fact that, a flower doesn't grow overnight. It takes time. You certainly are an example of that, but you're also an example of the fact that flowers can also grow through concrete. And if you're ever walking along the road and you see a weed or a flower or anything, pushing up through the crack of the concrete, you have to ask yourself, how in the world did it find the strength to do that? It's so fragile, it's so delicate, and yet, we see it. And I see that all the time, just, on walks and here and there or whatever. I've even taken pictures of it because that's the one thing that if you ever really paid attention to it, it would make you understand that, yes, even when times are tough, you can still blossom and flourish if you have the right motivation. And so I'm glad that basketball, as you said, has become more than the obsession, that it, your love for basketball, the passion behind it, the way that you were able to, transform your personal story into your new mission is something that is going to be highly beneficial to the youth nowadays. It will empower them as you continue to show them how to, first of all, gain discipline in their daily lives, how to train, how to take care of their bodies and their minds, how to use their minds strategically, all of the things. But one thing's for sure in terms of like the story that you just shared, and I'm just hearing all the details from the first time, and I'm glad I'm hearing it from you for the first time. One thing's for sure is that, yes, you are living a purposeful life, and you are doing it through a means that actually is something that you'll never look at as a job. This is the thing that has driven you all these years, and it's the thing that will continue to allow you to exist and to even leave behind a very important and powerful legacy with young people. And I was just thinking about your story about being bullied, because you and I actually talked about a project that we're working on for the Academy of Hope. And this week is Spirit Week for them. And they actually have a day that's called, I think it's Tackle Bullying Friday, or whatever day it is. It may not be Friday, maybe it's Thursday, Tackling Bullying Thursday. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to reach out to Principal Bellamy and see whether or not, I don't know if you have time on Thursday, but if you could stop by the school just to, see the kids, meet with the kids, that would be something that would be incredibly powerful. But even more so, if it can't be like this week, being able to even talk about, that particular topic in the realm of what young people are dealing with today is something that is really needed in our communities, because we are always just, assuming what we know about young people and what they're going through, but we never really know, because we're not, really walking their walk nowadays. I'm sure that the way I grew up is different from the way you grew up. And so I feel that, young people in these days and times definitely need more support systems. They really need the village to step up. They need nurturing and mentoring. They need the things that they are probably not getting at home for various reasons. And so, hopefully what you're doing with Next Level is something that can actually, fill in the gaps where they may exist in a young person's life. And so, as you think about what I've just shared, what are your goals for like this coming year? Let's just think about this year. I know that you're probably thinking 5 or 10 years down the road or whatever, but just this year alone, or maybe even leading into the summer, what are some goals that you have for Next Level and also Good Ball?
Always to try to make an impact on many people as I can. That don't just go for like the whole year. That goes for each day, just forever, to be honest with you. But if I had to be more specific for this year, yeah, I don't have like a specific number, but each day I rather try to my best to see the things that I posted and the things that I do and the people who I come across is to try to make an impact just one kid at a time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about some of the things that you have been doing. I see the pictures that you post that depict some of the clinics that you have and some of the places that you typically are hosting your training. So yeah, tell us about some of the things that you've been doing in the community.
So I'm very blessed and grateful that the people, Mr. Ashley Smith, shout out to him and the whole staff at the Conway Sports and Fitness Center. They let me come in and use their open court whenever they have like open play and things like that. And I'll just pick a side of the gym or one of the goals that's in there. And I work with some of the kids, just to harness their skills, help them be the best that they can be during the season and to prepare them for the next season. I work with the little kids for the little goals that they have set up over there. So I thank them as well for that. Thank God for them for that. Sometimes we'll take it outdoors, depending on the weather, but the weather bag can kind of bipolar. So yeah, so sometimes they let me come in there and do what I gotta do as far as like working with them and they completely understand it. The kids who go there and play pickup basketball, they know me very well. They always say, "Hey, what's up, Coach CeJay?" They acknowledge me. I feel like a little celebrity sometimes when I'm actually going to events when it comes to the kids. They always come up to me and they'll dap me up, they give me a high five. Some of the little kids will give me a hug. So it feels like I'm a good local celebrity, like I'm actually doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
One thing also too, the parents, I thank the parents too for taking the time out of their busy schedules or just outside what they have going on to help me, to allow me to come in that space, just to be around the kids, around their kids. Mm-hmm. And some of the things I teach the kids, it actually molds the parents too, come to find out. And I never honestly thought, I don't feel like a lot of coaches or people kind of pay attention to that stuff too, because once they see their kids change, the parents, because the kid is actually the reflection of the parents, come to find out. So the parents that are, not so great parents, they become better parents, even by just watching the things that I do within this program. Like there's actually somebody in the community who's probably the same or opposite color or opposite gender as them or the same, to make that actually cares about my kid or kids,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that right there kind of speaks value and all that. So I'm very grateful and fortunate for it.
Yeah.
So what do you think can come about in a new vision? How for the future? What do you? I know you just talked about some of your projections, but what kind of improvements do you think would be best for you?
Host more camps, host more clinics, and try to honestly get more of the middle school and high school teams to actually get involved with Next Level, because there's nobody here in the area actually doing what I do that's helping the kids harness to their skills on and off the court. Not, knocking any of the coaches at all, but it's like a lot of people, they don't take the extra time to actually help the kids learn the mistakes that they are going through. You can't just send a kid to the gym and hope they're going to come out and be Michael Jordan. Nah. Some kids need trainers. Some kids actually naturally skilled and talented like that. But at the end of the day, if you want the best out of them, I would just advise them to get them a mentor, to help them, just become the best that they could possibly be, and it keeps them busy, instead of being in the streets. Because my goal is obviously, I can't reach every single kid. That's impossible. Be the best teacher in the county, best teacher in the world. Eventually, somehow, some way, the child or children's paths could be a little different than what you interpreted, it was going to be. you know, and I'm sure we all have people, kids that looked up to us, and you know, they took a different path in life, so it kind of set them back. So obviously, you know, I just pray for each kid that I come across, each parent that I come across. But goal-wise, you know, I try my best to try to get the kids out the streets, but you know, I have no control over any of that. But the only thing I could do is encourage them, if they like basketball, to stay with basketball. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So your ideal situation could be that if you had a number of mentors at your disposal.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, sir. I have a couple actually. I have Jimmy Nichols. I'm sure y'all probably familiar with him. He used to play at Conway. He also used to play at Coastal, Providence, and a lot of other overseas teams. Then I got my cousin Deverick Tyson Bromell. He's over there in the Marion County. So I had him become one of the coaches down that way as well. And I'm looking to get some of those players from Coastal, who I'm actually pretty close with. Shout out to Coach Carl and the rest of the coaching staff. So I'm trying to actually just try to do big things within the city and outside of it, Myrtle Beach as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to hear that you're expanding all the way to Myrtle Beach.
Say that one more time.
I think it's good to hear that you're looking forward to Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, why not? You know, it's still somewhat, you know, it's our neighbor. So I mean, why not go over the whole Grand Strand? Well, it's a lot, but it's like I can handle it, you know, because I feel like, you know, God would challenge you in different ways to test your patience, your hard work, your dedication. I'm fully 100% dedicated to this.
Well, you know, just looking a little bit into the future, there could be some collaboration there between you and the Grand Strand Boys and Girls Club over there.
Oh yeah, I'm actually close with Mr. Ryan down that way as well. So I actually did host a group event a couple months back, actually at the Boys and Girls Club one time for a couple Saturdays, and I was very grateful for that as well. If I could also collab with some of the churches, I actually wouldn't mind collaborating with some of the churches because there's kids in the church and people need some type of outlet, and there's kids in the church that like sports, and there's kids in the church that needs mentors, you know. So why not try to combine like maybe like a little basketball tournament or maybe a little clank or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spread the word about Jesus Christ and also spread the word about, you know, the love of basketball and what it's done for me. So I'm actually always down to collab with ministry as well in that sort of form. I'm actually always down for that.
Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, what you're doing, even though basketball is the catalyst for it, you know, there's so many other things that the young people can learn from the sport. You know, there's leadership skills, there's discipline, there's, how to exercise your mind strategically as well as your body. And I think that, you know, one thing, you know, as a parent, I don't know if you're a parent, but one day if you know, become a parent, that would, you know, is always a thing that appeals to me and appealed to me when my child was growing up, but also when I'm speaking with other parents, is, you know, having those discussions with young people so that they'll know that those transferable skills are highly important in their life. Learning interpersonal skills and teamwork, and, you know, that it just isn't all about them as a singular person. You know, basketball is not about one person, even though there may be, you know, a star player or someone who's always highlighted or whatever. It takes the entire team to be able to even make that one person shine. And so, so I think that you have such an amazing concept here in terms of the youth empowerment, the mentoring, the training. Your story is just one that you can't even put a price tag on in terms of, you know, God instilling a mission in you that you probably never thought you would really have in terms of like your life's work. But saving you to do just that. So you have a lot that you can definitely share with the young people. And, you know, Brother Edward mentioned, you know, getting more mentors to help you with your movement. But what else can the community do to support you, you know, as you continue doing what you're doing? Are there resources, financial support, things that you need that you would love the community to help you with?
I'm always open to new ideas, but if I had to choose one, to be honest with you, I pray and hope that some of the coaches for like the middle school, high school, even Horry County will allow me to use the gym space there. Cause you know, like it gets brutal being outside from time to time, like especially in like 100-degree weather, degree weather or even below 30. And, you know, of course, I wouldn't obviously bring them out below 30, but, you know, those times where, you know, parents, they work so hard to try to afford these sessions. God, try my best to make it affordable as possible, you know, for the community. It's not always about the money. It's about, you know, just getting the kids to work, find the all the time to work. Because I understand the rec center has like pickleball, they got volleyball and other sports going on in the gyms and the father-daughter dance and etc. So I completely understand they got that going on, but I feel like we don't have a space where kids could actually just go and play basketball and learn. You know, plenty of gyms here, but nobody's willing to really like open up the gym for them or come in just to help, you know, get the kids off the streets, for ones who sign up and want to better themselves on and off the court, you know, and just do things like that. I actually am open-minded to being a open motivational speaker to the kids. Career days and things like that. Not everybody thinks that being a basketball trainer isn't a full-time job because it's not from the government. But at the end of the day, any job you choose to live in life, you know, we only get one life. And I feel like if you harnessed it, you know, you can make it anything you want to be in life. So, you know, I consider this more of just a trailblazing experience because I'm always going to be a trailblazer. I'm always going to try to lead the way for these kids and know, like, even if you don't make it to the NBA or WNBA or so, at least you gave it your all on the court, and hopefully you can be, you know, good enough to go to college. Even academically, if it ain't through athletics, at least you can academically, because I don't play about grades. My grades were always the best growing up. I don't ask the kids for their report cards because that's not my place. It's the parents' place to do that. But the parents always have a connection with all my parents. They would tell me, you know, what the kids are making in the grades and things like that. And I would sit and talk with them, and they say, you know, their grades be going up.
Grades are going up.
Because
you're showing them you care. You're showing them you care.
Once kids find a mentor and they're like, okay, if I don't act right in school or if I don't do good in this classroom, I can't be around such and such anymore, you know? So I tend to feel like they just kind of push themselves with that. They'd be like, I want to be around Coach CeJay, or I want Coach CeJay to come to my concert recital or come to my basketball game, which I do, or come to such and such, you know, just to show them that I support them. I support each one of my kids. Because I'm very grateful that they allow me to be a part of the family. Because I have a really big family, you know, on both sides. But I feel like with Next Level, it's a way bigger family than I could ever imagine. And I want the world. And also shout out to my rec league girls for my fever. I feel like morals and principles that I teach, like you said earlier about not everybody's going to be like just that superstar player. Everybody understands their role. All the parents, Coach, can I take the ball out? Coach, you still want me to rebound? Coach, you still want me to box out? You want me to pass the ball, bring the ball up, whatever? You want me to shoot? Because I know where to put players in certain positions in order to bring the best out of them. A lot of people, a lot of coaches, they don't see that. They just only expect them. I don't like to expect things. I train kids. I work with kids, really. I won't even use the word train. I work with kids to where I know what they can be.
Right.
I know what they can be, you know, not what they kind of already are at the moment, but I try to my best to challenge them and bring the best out of them. None of my kids don't back down from challenges. But then again, I don't give them a super duper difficult challenge that I know they can't handle. If I know one of my kids could only dribble with the right, I'm like, okay, now let's look at it this way. Now I want to see if you can go to the left. Next thing you know, once they see they can do it, I just sit back and
watch them. Yeah, let them do. Let them, yeah.
The last game I coached, the last game I coached last week, actually, we won that game. We was up by so much because the kids were doing amazing. It was to where I didn't have to yell too much. Everybody knew exactly where to be at. They know what to do. I literally just sat back and let them coach themselves. Of course, I'm always going to have like a leader or two on the team. So I tell those leaders, when I see those traits from a player, I see those leaders, I tell them like, hey, tell everybody where to go. Because once they get to middle school and high school, that's going to be in the record of brain like, I am a leader. I can lead this team just like the coach can. Of course, obviously, they're not going to take over the coach position, but they know when, you know, the coach is on the sideline, it's only nothing but 5 of y'all on the floor. So y'all got to speak up as the coach, you know, is trying to get y'all to be all on the same page. You got to be on the same page as a coach. My girls, and next thing you know, I almost cried last game. I ain't going to lie to you. So I get emotional when I see things like that. I'm like, I feel like I'm really teaching them a great a great thing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
feeling rewarding feeling to have.
Yes.
Everything I tell the girls motivational, and all my players and the parents, I always tell them this: it's God's words, not mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your work is coming from the heart, and the things that you are doing are filling your cup. Because we go to jobs every day and we're constantly depleted of what's in our cup, and it takes a long time to actually get that back and to keep the fire going. But when you can do something that really and truly feeds your spirit, your mind, and even emotionally, it's feeding you. It's definitely the thing that God has planned for you. So it was absolutely wonderful to hear your story tonight, and I just want to share with everyone CeJay's Facebook page. Of course, if you are on Facebook, you can go to Next Level B-Ball Training, and that is the actual Facebook URL, but it's Next Level Basketball Training. And as you can see, he's got a lot of things that are happening. Go in there, check it out, see what's going on, and like, share, follow, do all the things to support this young man and what he's doing. And so, CeJay, as you think about, what your next step is beyond basketball, you say you have a fiance, you're going to be married soon. Is that one of the next big life movements that you're about to make?
It's definitely a stepping stone for me that I gratefully, and thankfully look forward to.
Awesome.
That's all I can say. When I say she's God sent, even though not everybody's going to approve in any way, I mean, everybody's always going to hate. Everybody's always going to have their own perspective of things, but I know what's best for me. God knew what was best for me. So if he blessed me with a good one, and you know what they say, every good man is always a good wife behind him. There's a reason why he's great. He can't be great by himself. There's always a woman out there that's behind that man that's actually pleading him to be better, to do better. And that's why I feel like she also makes me feel and want to do as well. You have to want to do that. You can't just automatically just change in a day. It helped mold me into being I was always a good person, but it helped me even mold to be a more better person, more aware of my surroundings, more aware of, how life is, even though I don't have it all figured out. Nobody does, but, it made me more into a man than what I am right now. But I'm very grateful and very blessed to have such a person.
Awesome.
CeJay, I want to interrupt you at one point. Then again, I say, well, I'm listening to it and it sounds so good with your motivation. To our viewers, don't be surprised if you don't get some requests for being a motivational speaker at some of the events. Okay.
I'm always down for that.
Yeah. I think you have all the qualities there. Captivating qualities. And I think you're going to go places with that.
Thank you. I'm blessed to whatever God has planned for me in front. I'm gonna answer the door.
I like that.
Always.
Well, CeJay, yes, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we really and truly appreciate all of our viewers for watching and sending the encouraging words. And also, this broadcast is available on wcmagazine.net for the next week. So, CeJay, please feel free to share. You can send them to the website or share that YouTube link that we shared with you. And we want everybody to hear your story. And of course, we'll do the same as far as passing the word around. And again, I look forward to working with you on some future projects. And so before we leave, is there anybody, I know you did some shout outs in the beginning, but is there anybody that you want to mention again before we roll out?
Lastly, I do have two more platforms three more platforms that I have for the Good Ball Movement Project. If for those who have TikTok or Instagram, and if you have YouTube, you can literally just look this up. Just type in good ball movement. So you just put a dot between good and ball, and it'll pop up right there. So you can also find more motivational videos about the little ball that can somehow talk.
I love it. I love it. The talking basketball.
I want to say shout out to my mom, because without her, I actually wouldn't be here or be.
And what's your mom's name?
Jackson Bromell.
There you go. Yeah.
Shout out to Friendship Baptist Church, Cherry Hill. Shout out to Mount Pleasant. Shout out to my father's church, Trinity Missionary Baptist Church over there in Sumter. Shout out to him and his wife. Shout out to my fiance. Shout out to all my kids who I work with, all the families and parents who I work with. And lastly, I want to say shout out to God, because without him, all this wouldn't be possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Brother Edward, are you inspired to pick up a basketball, Brother Edward?
I am. Yeah. I don't know if I can keep. Look, I may need your help, CJ, but I'll pick one up, brother. Come out there to the rec center, right?
Yes, sir.
What are the hours out there that you usually?
It kind of varies. So the kids, I don't have any homeschool kids as of right now yet. I used to, but they graduate and went on to college and pursue their careers. So right now I'm taking like 3:30s to like 8 o'clock appointments, because the gym don't close till 8. I know on weekends they close at 6. So I'll take any times whenever the courts or gym's available.
Should they reach out to you through your Facebook page if they're interested, or?
Most definitely they can reach out. They can definitely reach out to me on Facebook, and yeah, we just go from there.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Kudos to Ashley. I know you find him very easy to work with, and he's been a gem out there too, in terms of being cooperative with the community, and yeah, he does very well. Kudos to him, and you all, the collaboration between you two.
Oh yeah, of course. We got a lot of great things coming. I actually have a camp. This is my second year doing a camp. I did one last year in March, but I do have one coming up this year in March as well. Once I make the flyer and the poster and everything like that, once I get an established day, I'll be sure to push it and let everybody know. So I'll spread the word about it. Everybody gets a free t-shirt. It's definitely going to be affordable. It's definitely going to be a lot of great guest speakers, including myself, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you definitely don't want to miss out. So make sure you stay on Facebook.
All right. I love it. And make sure you continue to use the network. I will always support you. Thank you for dropping your information in Facebook, and also the information on your fiance's business. We'll have to have her on the show one day.
I'm sure she would definitely love that.
Awesome. So, Brother Edward, I think it's been a wonderful show this evening.
Oh,
we got some great
fantastic
community news. We got to learn a lot about this young man who is doing big things in the community for the youth. And we certainly wish you all the luck and best wishes, CJ, and God's blessings to you for health and strength to do what you're doing to fulfill your mission. And so Brother Edward, like you said, we only have a couple of days left until February is here, and then we will officially. Go ahead.
That's that 1 month that was apportioned to us some hundreds of years ago.
I was getting ready to go there. Look,
all right.
Around here we celebrate Black History 365, but we make sure to also acknowledge the 1 month that is attributed to us or whatever. So we will in our successes. So we will certainly have some great Black History programming coming up. And we thank you for actually being our last. Is this the last guest for January? So you kind of are Black History. Wow. You're our Black History Month kickoff. You're part of you're the pre-show. How about that?
So CJ, before we split, we have the summer jobs program, the Rural Community Magazine summer jobs program. So and I guess we can explore or look forward to having some of your students that you work with, giving them the opportunity to be a part of that. Okay, have this if they want a job for the summer. All right,
yes,
and just keep that in mind.
Okay, I'll most definitely do that. I'll be sure to pass the word along. Once you give me more information about that, etc., then I'll be sure I can push that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you as well. So take care, and we'll be seeing you again real soon.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. Godspeed.
So, Brother Edward, this was an incredible show. Really appreciate having CeJay Bromell as our special guest tonight, and also Reverend Cheryl Adamson for making a little quick drop in to give us some community news.
Yeah, right.
So,
All the stuff was pertinent tonight.
Mhm.
We're thankful for Reverend Adamson to keeping us updated on that. That's an issue. It's an important issue in the community. But things are going to work out. And of course,
they always do.
Yeah, Brother CeJay. Kudos to him and his efforts. And I just love to see stuff like that. I just love to see stuff like that.
And to come from such a critical, health situation, cardiac arrest, he said, he flatlined and came back. And that's the thing that really connects us to what life is really all about. The fact that, we only have one. We only pass this way one time.
That's right.
It's grace and mercy and, God's sparing of our lives. We should be compelled to do the best thing that we can do with our lives and to use it in the best way possible. So I'm glad that he's doing that thing as a young man, and we definitely wish him luck. So
we need to support him as much as possible.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll be back again next week if we as to say is the I can't get it out right now. I'm thinking snow. I was thinking about the creek rising, but I can't help but think about snow and all the things that are supposed to be coming our way. But we'll be back next week with
we're working on some guests.
Black History. This will be great. Yeah. So everyone stay tuned, same time, same back channel. We're always here Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. And thank you again for your support. We really do appreciate it. Take care.
Godspeed.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.